We are live. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, chat.
Hello, hi.
Hello, chat.
What's goody, chat? How we doing?
This is a recording, not actually live. So there's no chat.
Let's get some W's in the
Yeah.
chat. Oh, okay.
Aw, it's okay. Let's get those W's anyway.
W's in the comment section.
Wow. Nah, I was
Yeah. No.
live for a second.
Well, I was thinking about doing live. I haven't really came. I'm doing recordings now, see how it is, and then I might go do that later on. But anyway, the title of this. By the way, my sermons are called the Bonfire because Bonfire Ministries. Go along with that. It's called When You're in a Bad Season. So I'm gonna preface this by asking you guys all a question when I start all this up. Have you ever went through a season where everything felt off? Like you're still praying, still showing up, still trying, but it feels different. Not you don't. You feel. He's not gone. He's just quiet. You might be asking these kind of questions. Did I mess something up? Did I do something wrong? Why does he feel so dry? Why does he feel so distant? Why does it feel like God is not answering any of my prayers? And the hardest part is you can be surrounded by people that you love, that you cherish, but you still feel alone in it. You can be in a church.
Yeah, I knew so.
How you going? Come sit down.
Hello.
You can still feel disconnected in a church. You can know through your head, knowing your head, that you're loved and all that, but not feel it in your heart. Tonight, I'm going to tackle that feeling, that dry season in your life. Most of the things that I'm going to be talking to you tonight are some bullet points that I'm hoping that I'm speaking to some of you tonight. Where you're in a waiting / confusion / silence / struggle season. If you are one of those people and you feel like your walk with Christ is becoming longer than if you want it to feel like, this is for you. To bring this to scripture is Psalms 13, 1-2. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forevermore? How long will you hide your face from me? This isn't a random person talking right now in the scripture, in this psalm. This is David. A person after God's own heart. The same one that killed Goliath, and the same David who worshiped God deeply, and he still feels like this from season to season. And yet he's saying, God, where are you? But here's where it matters. God didn't rebuke him for saying that. Because honestly, God doesn't push us away. Sometimes we do that, our own self. God can handle your real emotions.
Mhm.
But we often try to give him fake ones. We say, I'm good, God. I got this. Don't worry about it. I'll come to you if I need to, but if I got this for now. So that becomes the divide there. That becomes a shift. Very slowly, very gradually, but the shift starts there. But I'm here today to tell you that you're not broken for this. And you trying and struggling and having confusion and feeling left out or alone when you're in a group of people, when you're in a church surround other brothers and sisters, you're not alone. And also, sometimes your struggle at the end you'll find their meaning and why you went through it. The lesson that you learned. The first kind of story I want to bring up about this is from Genesis chapter 37 through 50.
37.
Is the story of Joseph. He was given a vision of leadership, a calling on his life that he fully didn't realize. And what happens to him? His brothers betray him, throw him in a pit, sell him to slavery, but he serves faithfully, gets falsely accused, and throws in prison because of it. That's not a bad day. That's a terrible season in his life. But sometimes promises don't match the process. Sometimes things that God has promised us and things that God will give us does not look like currently that's going to happen, or even will happen. Have you all ever felt that? Or going through a period of time where you are feeling that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like God showed you something, but in your life right now it doesn't look like it. God wasn't just talking to Joseph about something or somewhere, going somewhere. He was preparing him for it. Those things that he went through and suffered through and served with was leading him to this point in Genesis 50, where his brothers come after he accused them of being spies, planted things in their bags to make them bring their youngest brother to him to not be arrested or executed. And in that, he fully regave his brothers. And he said this in verse 20 of Genesis 50. Your evil against me, your evil was against me, but God has meant it for good. God didn't cause the pain in your life, or maybe in the season that you're in now, but He will use it. In this season, this is not a setback. This is not something that is hindering you. This is a preparation phase for your next season. And the way we work through these seasons of the metaphorical desert and the metaphorical mountain
Come on in.
is do not
Come sit down, porcupine.
do not in your season of the desert, of the valley, so to speak, do not wallow or be sorrowful in this. Be joyous. For whatever lesson of the outcome of this will come, that you know that when you come out of it, you will be better than you were going in. Like the metaphor of the silversmith in the scriptures. The silversmith, when he's making silver, he puts it into the fire to refine it, to bring up all the impurities from the top, skim it off. I don't know the specifics of the season that you are in your life right now, but I know if I were to talk to any of you right now, it would point to that, a refining period. And we all go through it multiple times throughout our lives and our walk with Christ. But sometimes circumstances happen to us that without our control is completely terrible. Like the story of Job. Out of nowhere, out of the blue, a perfect man loses children, his wealth, and his health. And here's what makes it the worst. He doesn't know why it's happening to him. And if we are rear of ourselves right now, that's the hardest kind of season. Not pain of rejection, not pain of silence, but of doing all the right things for the right reasons and still having a struggle, like Job. We don't struggle with suffering as much as we struggle with not understanding it. If you understand the struggle, our perspective changes in the struggle, so we understand it better. As it says in Job 13, verse 15, sorry. Though he may slay me, yet I will still trust him. This part in Job is when all his family is dead, excluding his wife. He has boils and sores all over his body, lost his livestock and all his wealth. And this man is still saying this with full certainty and conviction. That's not easy faith, guys. That's refined faith. Give you more of a kind of a physical example of what I'm talking about. Look at this fire. front of us. Fire doesn't just burn things. Like I said before, it refines them. Gold goes through the fire. And what comes out is something stronger, something more pure. What I was talking about before, in First Peter, the first chapter, 6 through 7. Though now for a little while you have been grieved by trials, so that your faith may be proved genuine. Your season isn't pointless. He will use your season that you are dealing with to refine you to something that he wants you to be in. He wants you to be a new version of yourself. And it's not for your benefit. It's not the only benefit. It is for the glory of him. That sounds harsh. That sounds very unsensitive there. But I'm saying it for a reason. When we are become Christians, we deny ourselves and pick up his cross. We deny our pleasures, and our pleasures become his. Our desires become his. Maybe some things that we do, some lifestyles that we have, isn't what he wants for our life. And that's what the season is teaching us, refining these things. Now, I'm not saying all seasons are like this. But as you look at what he's doing in your life, it should point to one of three things: refinement, station, and purpose. Refinement is obviously to get things that he doesn't want in your life out. Station is to put you in a position that you can thrive and not struggle. And purpose is to instill things in you so you can better do your calling in this life. Even Jesus himself struggled. So he says in Matthew 27, my God, why have you forsaken me?" While he's hanging on the cross. If Jesus himself can have a season of the desert and still come out on top, we can. the three things that usually happen when you go from the metaphorical valley season to a mountain is you get deeper faith. Not surface level belief, but real trust in him and what he does. The second one is a stronger identity. It lets you realize to not rely on feelings, but start standing firm on the truth in him. And the third is the most important one. It's a strong relationship with God. Because in silence, we learn to seek him deeper. As it says in John the first chapter, second verse through to the fourth. Count it all joy that when you face trials, you will know that that testing in your faith produces steadfastness. God isn't wasting this season on you. He's building something in you. I'm going to end on this. So if you're in a bad season right now, you feel neglected or forgotten or persecuted, know that you're in a process. And that process is painful and a struggle. A real struggle. We've all been through struggles like this. No matter how far you are on your walk. I can give a personal example of mine. I worked at an establishment for 2.5 years, and I hated every minute of it. I despised that place. I would get in my car and almost be in an anxiety attack, going through my head of what's going to happen when I walk through that door. And then I left to another one.
What's up, Gassy?
And driving to the interview for my next job, I had to go past that place to get there. At first, when I was walking to my car to get in there, I was dreading it. I was like, I don't want to drive past that place. That would give me so much misery and strife, and I don't want to see that place ever again. But the closer I got, the more the Lord put things in my head that I realized that while I was working at that place, I was trying to I was pushing to have a better connection, better understanding with the Lord through the trial of working there every day, day in and day out, screaming at him every night, trying to pleading and asking him to take me somewhere else. And while I was doing that, the Lord spoke to me and he said, the reason why I put you there in the first place is because I wanted you to be stronger with me and you to learn how to depend on me. And now that you are at where you're at, you can witness to people. You have stories to tell. You have experiences that you can rely on from me. That's what the struggle is about. If you have personal examples through your life, through the struggles that you've had, you can talk to other people for them to understand why Christianity means so much to you, because you've been through it, and through your struggle you're still in it, and they can see it, and they ask questions. Why are you still here? Why are you still doing all this? And then you can be like, because this happened. I went through this. I experienced that. I had this relationship that I had to deal with for years. I had parents that I had to deal with for years. But through all of this, I realized that the only reason why I was going through all that is, for one, to deepen my relationship with him, and to two, to give me personal examples in my life, share with other people, so they can understand him in a better, more meaningful and deeper way, in a more personal way. So I ask you this as I'm closing out. Well, I'll say this. Not really asking a question. What if this season isn't breaking you, it's building you? And what if God doesn't waste your worst season? He uses them to build your strongest faith.